Martin was really good at saving a person's seat. My friend Martin is amazing at saving me a seat when we go to places together, and he really makes sure that no one else takes my seat. You see, it's the small things in the world that cause the most agony, like not having anywhere to sit down, not having tomato ketchup or mayonnaise for a chip, and forgetting your car keys. Martin is one of those people who, as a friend, takes away those little annoyances. I can almost trust Martin to save me a seat, or to protect my seat when I have to get up and go somewhere. I remember me and Martin went on a school trip to the cinema, and I had to get to the toilet. I trusted Martin to protect my seat, and when I came back from the toilet, Martin had protected my seat, and the proof was visible, as he killed 3 students who tried to take my seat. I was so glad that he was my friend, and even though there were 3 dead students underneath our seat, it didn't ruin the movie at all. I hate people who take other people's seats. And I also hate people who fail to protect their friend's seat when they go off somewhere for a while. All the time at reception, our class had to be in the hall, and I had to get up again, as I had left something back in class. And Martin promised me that he will protect my seat so that both of us could still sit together when I came back. When I came back to the hall, I saw Martin had saved my seat from being taken, and I saw the proof of this when he had killed 4 students who tried to take my seat. It wasn't that bad, having 4 dead students under a seat, because I could put my feet on the dead bodies. Martin is such a good friend, and last week on the bus, me and Martin were sitting together. I had to get up as I had realized that my weekly bus pass had dropped out of my pocket and onto the floor. I had to get up from my seat, and Martin gave me a nod, which told me that he would protect my seat. When I picked up the weekly bus pass on the floor, I observed that Martin had failed to protect my seat, and he had given his own life to try and protect my seat, but he still failed. I had to sit somewhere else. Last hour of the shift. I recently started working a new job in an office, and everything is pretty much okay. The only advice I got on my training was to be patient when it was time to go home. Yesterday was my first official day working, and during my training, I only worked half days. During the last hour of shift, I could feel a sudden intense feeling in the air, and everyone was looking at each other in such a paranoid fashion. I was working at my usual pace, and I remember being told that the company is constantly hiring people, as they keep on losing employees. As soon as it was time to go, everyone started fighting for the door to get out of the office, and they started fighting each other, pulling each other's eyes out and biting each other. They were all so desperate to go home, and I was just waiting for the chaos to calm down. Then, when it had calmed down, I got up to walk over the dead bodies, and co-workers crawling over the ground as they had lost their eyes, ears, and other limbs. It was good advice to be patient, when it's ready to go home after a shift. No wonder the company is constantly hiring new people. I got out of the office an hour later though, and as I was going out of the door, another coworker had blocked me a little, as he was crawling on the floor, looking for his eyes. Suddenly, I became angry and punched him till he died. I have no idea what came over me. I just want to cry. In my area, nobody is allowed to cry, and it's a hard thing to keep up, to not ever cry while living in an area full of horrid and cold people. My parents are always shouting at us to never cry, and every house has a swimming pool, and we all live next to the river and canals. When my eldest brother started crying, my parents took his eyes out, so he would never cry again, and my second eldest brother started crying. My parents took his eyes out as well, and also the rest of his face. If we are on the verge of crying, we then need to jump into the swimming pool, or to the next nearest river or canal. It's a horrible moment when you find yourself on the verge of tears, because someone has done something to you or a tragic event has happened, which just makes you emotional. When I'm on the verge of tears, I just jump into a swimming pool, or I go and find the next nearest river or canal. I've nearly drowned many times, but at least I never cried. This is why everyone in my area has a swimming pool and live next to rivers and canals. You cannot cry underwater. I once helped a friend to never cry by pushing him into a canal, where he unfortunately drowned. His parents understood why I did this to their son, and he was on the verge of crying. And when I kept asking him whether he was okay, it just pushed him near crying. Then one day, I found a cabin in some abandoned forest, and inside the cabin, silence and privacy was present. I was able to cry without anyone knowing or seeing me. I passed this secret on to 4 of my friends, and we each took turns going to this cabin to cry on our own. It was amazing. We had a timetable for whose turn it was to cry inside the cabin, but one day, a terrible event had come upon us, where the town economy had completely gone. This destroyed the order of the timetable, because all 5 of us desperately needed to go inside the cabin, so that we could cry on our own. None of us dared to go inside the cabin together and to see each other cry, because that would be an abomination to see each other cry. So, I took my gun out and shot my 4 friends, and went inside the cabin where I cried on my own, the terrible event of the economy and my 4 dead friends. So everything with the cabin worked out in the end. I am terrified of the postman. I am terrified of the postman and postwoman. It's a strange thing to fear, you know, because everyone is always looking forward to the people delivering your letters and post to your door. I have 2 siblings who are older than me. The postman and postwoman have unknowingly killed my 2 older brothers. I hate them, and whenever I see them, I get flashes of terror, and also cannot sleep throughout the night, because of what the postman and postwoman might deliver through the letterbox. I hate them so much, but at the same time, it's not their fault, because they are just doing their jobs. In the year 2017, my eldest brother William was 18, and he waited patiently for the postman, or postwoman, to deliver a letter. My parents were putting pressure on William that if the postman or postwoman posted a letter which read that he is either gay, bisexual or transsexual, then he will be in trouble. William had such a future ahead of him, and this terror my parents had put upon him was so unfair. Then everyone started staring through the window at the postman who delivered a letter for William, as William hesitantly opened the letter. The letter stated that William was gay. William shouted, screamed, begged for my parents' forgiveness. My parents killed him in the back garden, where he's buried to this day. Then, on the year 2019, my second eldest brother, Roland, was 18. Roland, like William, waited hesitantly for the postperson to deliver a letter which will tell him what sexual orientation he is. Roland knew that he had to be heterosexual, or he will face the same consequences as William. He stared at the postwoman through the window, and when the letter came through the letterbox, Roland started to cry. He told her parents that he didn't want to open it, but my father threatened him that if he didn't open the letter, then he will be killed. And as Roland opened the letter had stated that Roland was bisexual. Roland was killed and buried at the back garden. Now I'm 18, in the year 2023, and I'm dreading it. I hope I receive a letter which states that I'm heterosexual. Thank you all so much for listening to tonight's story. Now I'd like to take a moment to thank all of my Patreons who help make this channel possible. Thank you, Breaker19, for all your help and support. You guys are amazing.